The winter sun hung low over the park, painting everything in a soft golden glow, and yet the tall man sitting alone on the wooden bench looked as if a cloud followed only him. He wore an expensive suit, the kind that spoke of power and success, but his shoulders were heavy as if the weight of the world pressed down on them. His eyes were tired, his breath uneven, and his hands trembled slightly as if holding back emotions he had not allowed to escape in years. Children laughed in the distance, running after soap, bubbles that sparkled like captured rainbows. Their joy floated in the air, but the man did not lift his head to notice. Instead, he stared at the ground as if searching for answers that kept slipping away. He looked like someone who had won everything the world offered, yet somehow lost the one thing his heart needed. A small boy, no more than 6, wandered nearby holding a toy car with chipped red paint. His cheeks were round and warm, his hair a soft mess. Thanks to the wind, he stopped mid-play when he noticed the lonely man on the bench, his tiny brows furrowed with innocent concern, something only a child with a pure heart could show. The boy stepped closer, dragging his small shoes through the dusty path until he stood right in front of the man. The man slowly lifted his gaze, surprised by the presence of this little stranger. "Mister, why are you sad?" The boy's voice was soft yet filled with a courage he himself did not understand. The tall man blinked, taken aback. "I am not sad," he tried to say, but the truth wavered in his throat. His chest ached with words he had kept locked away for too long. The boy tilted his head, studying the man the same way he studied ants on the sidewalk when they carried crumbs bigger than themselves. "Mister, you look like you want to cry," he said simply and kindly. The man swallowed hard, his jaw tightened. His heart cracked a little more, because this small child had seen straight through him, something no one else ever managed. The boy shifted his toy car from one hand to the other before speaking again. "My mom says when people look sad, they should not stay alone, because sad hearts get more sad when nobody sits with them. So I will sit with you." He climbed onto the bench beside the man, his short legs dangling freely. The man stared at him, bewildered. "Why are you being so kind to me?" "Because you need it," the boy answered, as if it was the easiest truth in the world. And then with a small breath he added, "Mister, you can borrow my mom if you want. She always makes me feel better when I cry." The man felt something break inside, a kind of ache he had not let himself feel for years. Something warm, something painful, something human. The man leaned back slightly, his breath trembling. As he tried to steady himself, the park around him felt strangely quiet now, as if every leaf, every ray of sunlight paused to witness this unexpected moment. "Borrow your mom," he whispered, his voice carrying a mix of disbelief and aching longing. "Yes," the boy nodded with complete confidence. "She is very good at fixing hearts, even when she says she is tired. She always hugs me and says everything will be okay, even when I break my toys or when I have a bad dream." The man stared at the ground for a long moment, then at the sky, then at the child beside him, and slowly he spoke words he had held for far too long. "My mother used to do that too," he confessed. "She told me even strong people are allowed to be weak sometimes. She used to tell me to sit with her whenever I felt like crying." The boy listened carefully, his dark eyes wide. He did not understand the depth of grief in the man's voice, but he understood that it hurt. "Where is your mom now?" he asked gently. The man inhaled deeply, his chest tight. "She is gone," he said quietly. "The world has not been the same since. She was the only one who reminded me I was human." The boy lowered his gaze for a moment, then he reached out his tiny hand and placed it on the man's arm. His palm was small, warm, comforting in a way that felt both healing and heartbreaking. "My mom can be your mom for today," he said in a whisper that felt like a gift. A long, shaky breath escaped the man. Maybe he had not cried in years, but now tears gathered in his eyes, shining like small crystals. He felt a strange sense of safety, sitting beside this little boy whose innocence held more power than every boardroom he had ever entered. "What is your name?" the man finally asked. "I am Ray," the boy said proudly. "And you?" "Daniel," he replied quietly. Ray smiled, a wide tooth-gap smile. "Mr. Daniel, my mom is just over there." He pointed to a woman sitting on the grass near a picnic basket, reading a book. She looked gentle, calm, wrapped in warm sunlight. Her face glowed with the softness of someone who carried love with ease. Daniel felt something shift inside him. He had spent years surrounding himself with cold walls, work, expectations, and people who bowed rather than cared. But now a child had opened a door he never intended to revisit. Ray hopped off the bench holding Daniel's hand. "Come on, I will take you to her. She will know what to do, she always knows." And Daniel followed not out of obligation, but because his heart, for the first time in a long time, whispered that maybe, just maybe, he deserved a moment of kindness too. Ray tugged gently at Daniel's hand, leading him through the patch of soft grass toward the woman who had not yet noticed them. She was humming a quiet tune, the kind that could mend a tired spirit without even trying. Her hair swayed with the breeze, and her smile softly curved as she read her book, unaware that fate was quietly rearranging the world around her. "Mom, I brought someone," Ray announced proudly. The woman looked up and her eyes widened slightly when she saw Daniel, a well-dressed man, standing beside her with a sorrowful expression that almost hid behind politeness. "Hello," she said, warm yet curious. "Is everything okay?" Ray puffed out his small chest like a little hero. "Mom, he is sad. I saw him sitting alone and he looked like he needed you." Daniel felt his knees weaken as if the boy's words reached the deepest corners of his heart. He could not remember the last time someone had looked at him and simply cared. The woman closed her book and gently set it aside. Then she rose to her feet, her presence calm and steady. "Would you like to sit with us?" she asked Daniel kindly. Daniel hesitated, not wanting to intrude, but Ray tugged again, insisting, "You need this, Mr. Daniel." "Do not worry, my mom is very good." The woman let out a soft breath filled with empathy. Her eyes held a kindness that mirrored Ray's. Daniel felt exposed yet strangely understood, as if being seen did not hurt quite as much anymore. They sat together on the blanket, Ray immediately picking up a sandwich the woman had packed earlier. Daniel would have been too proud to sit at a picnic with strangers, but now it felt like a place he had desperately needed without knowing. "You look like you have lost something important," the woman said, gently studying Daniel's weary face with a quiet tenderness. Daniel swallowed hard. The truth pressed against his ribs, heavy and old. "I lost my mother years ago," he admitted, "and I lost myself somewhere afterward. I buried myself in work and success, and I forgot what it felt like to just be human." The woman nodded slowly, understanding without judgment. "That kind of loss changes a person," she said softly. "It takes away pieces. You do not even realize you are missing until you try to feel whole again." Ray leaned against Daniel, resting his small hand on Daniel's arm as if offering strength. "Mom says hearts do not stay broken forever. They just need someone to help them remember how to beat right." Daniel let out a trembling breath, Ray's simple words wrapping around him like warmth against winter. There was something healing in this small family, their closeness, their honesty, their unspoken love. "You raised a remarkable boy," Daniel told the woman. She smiled. "It is all him. He has always had a gift for seeing people the way they truly are." As the sky shifted into gentle shades of violet and gold, Daniel felt something inside him slowly untangle. For years he had hidden behind power, behind achievements, behind the illusion that strength meant never breaking. But here in a quiet park beside a little boy and his mother, he discovered a truth long forgotten. Ray lay on the blanket playing with his toy car, humming happily, while Daniel and the woman spoke in soft voices. "Tell me," she asked, "what brought you to the park alone today?" Daniel breathed in the cool air, his chest loosening with every word. "I reached a point where everything felt empty," he confessed. "Even success felt silent. My company celebrated a big achievement today, but I felt nothing, no pride, no joy, only a strange loneliness that followed me everywhere." The woman listened deeply, not rushing him, not filling the silence. She simply let him unravel the words he had kept buried. "I think your heart just needed rest," she said gently. "Sometimes we carry so much weight we forget to take even a moment to breathe." Daniel felt tears threaten again, not from pain this time, but from relief, from being understood by someone who did not owe him anything. Ray was right. "Your kindness does fix hearts," he told her with a soft, wavering voice. She reached out, placing her hand lightly over his. "This world can be loud and harsh," she said, "but healing often begins quietly, sometimes with nothing more than a child who notices your sadness and refuses to walk away." Daniel looked at Ray, who now drew shapes in the grass, fully at peace, and felt a warmth spread through him. A warmth he thought he lost with his mother. A warmth he never expected to find again. Ray suddenly climbed into Daniel's lap without hesitation. "You look better now, Mr. Daniel," he said proudly. "Because Mom makes everyone better." Daniel laughed softly, the sound unfamiliar yet comforting. "Ray, thank you for today." Ray wrapped his tiny arms around him. "You can come back tomorrow," he said, hugging him. "You can sit with us again. I will let you borrow my mom anytime." Daniel held the child gently, his chest swelling with something he had not felt in years. Something alive. Something hopeful. Something new. And as the sun dipped lower, painting the park in glowing amber, Daniel finally felt like the world was giving him a second chance, not through grand miracles, but through the simple kindness of a little boy with a brave heart and a mother whose presence could mend even the most silent wounds.